started with this issue of success, and that success is actually how you end, right? That is the understanding. If you could flip the next slide for me, I will be grateful. Right. So, this is before COVID. Okay, and this is not Ghana. This is the US. So 90% of all businesses fail by the 10th year. Fact. So we don't want to fail, right? Because it's wasted effort, wasted time, money, and your life is somewhat finite. So you don't want to be trying things and then fail. In as much as you would learn much, okay? If we can be successful at this, is great. The statistics shows that by the first year, over 20% has failed. By second year, we are up to 30%. By the fifth year, 70% of the businesses have failed. By the 10th year, 90%. So only 10% of businesses that start, okay, actually make it beyond the 10th year, and we don't want that. Do I have an agreement? We don't want that, right? Good. This is US, where systems work, where they have access to finance. You can get up one fine day, have a wonderful business idea, walk into a bank, and you come out of the bank with $300,000, $500,000, because they believe in your idea. Even if you don't have management, the bank can appoint someone to help you because they believe, and that's how businesses grow. Try it in Ghana. Try it in Ghana. So, I don't know, but is there anyone here who has run a business before and has failed? So if I could have 2 mics, and if somebody wants to talk, they can talk into the mic. I'll be grateful. So am I the only one who has ever run a business? I'm not talking about a big business. It could be anything. It could be an Indomie joint. It could be like anything. Space to space. So long as you are producing a good service and someone is coming to say, okay, here's my 50 pesos, here's my 1 CD, can you do something for me? You are in business. Okay, so if you could, so you tell us your name, and then you can tell us what business it was and why you think it failed.
Okay. Thank you for the opportunity. So my name is Reese. And I started a language business, where I was teaching people French and English, and also doing translating documents, books, and various documents from English to French and vice versa. I was providing interpretation services as well. So I was in business, I think, for less than a year, a couple of months.
Okay.
And for like 2 months, I couldn't get a client. I couldn't get a deal.
Wow.
I couldn't get a student. But the first breakthrough came, I think, after 2 months.
Okay.
With a lot of work.
Okay.
And I was able to get like 2 students and 1 contract for translation, I think.
Okay.
And but I didn't stay in business because the financial promise was not exciting.
Okay.
I think I didn't take time to study the market in Ghana.
Stop right there. Okay, so what he's saying is that he didn't take time to study the market. So the planning, there was an issue with the planning process. Fantastic. Do you want to say something?
No,
or that's it. So Reese, thank you very much. I think this is something that really you are not alone in this. Do you know why? Because between the time you get the idea and then the time you go to market, right? Once the idea drops, okay, it drops with excitement, okay, and it drops with the promise of what? Of making a lot of money, okay? Which can trick a lot of people into avoiding or step, like they will not follow due process. Because in your heart, the thing has already succeeded. You already seen yourself in some East Legon house enjoying the process of your business, right? But you have to learn to be what? Methodical, okay? And follow proper laid down, even if you know that this business is one touch, okay? It's only when you get onto the market, okay, then you realize that, bro, it's not as easy as you originally imagined. And I think we've all been caught up in this like lack of planning and doing our research and other. So that's an absolutely fantastic point. You want to say something else?
Yeah, maybe just add up something small. So after that one failed, I have a first degree in IT.
Okay.
Yeah. So I jumped on to start something else. So I was starting a digital marketing agency. So I was starting a digital marketing agency where I provide social media services and graphic design as well. And that one, the promise was better, and it was quite okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So which means that I presume that you learned from.
I learned from my previous.
From the first experience.
Exactly.
Fantastic. Can we give him a round of applause? I think he's come up with some really important. So has anyone else run a business and failed, or is just me and Reese? We are the unlucky ones. Okay, sorry. Oh, yeah, but I'm not seeing the hands. So, okay. So let me do what the old man does. Let me change the question. Okay. Is there anyone here who has started a business and has been successful and the business is still running today? The hands are still down. So, would anyone want to share their experience? Okay, so let's Pastor Richard share his experience, and then I'll come to you.
Okay, so my name is Richard Ampao. So years ago, I was in Europe, and then an idea dropped into my head that, I could do used ties business.
Wow.
So I dreamt of it. I got excited about it. And interestingly, I had a friend from Ghana to visit us in Zurich.
Okay.
And he came and he also more or less like confirmed what I had dreamt of and said that, we should do tie business. I said, awesome. The unfortunate thing is that my friend didn't come with any money. Okay. So when he came back to Ghana, it wasn't something that I could partner with him because I felt that you have to come with something so that we work together. But you can't just be partners when you don't have. And it's not like the idea is from you either.
Yeah.
Went to the bank, took a loan.
Wow.
All right, so I got the money, and then I began to go and look for used ties. You know, in Europe, when you go to throw out your used ties, you actually pay. In fact, when you throw out any waste, you pay for it. I didn't know, so I'll go to, let's say, AMAG is the representative of VW in Switzerland. So I'll go there, I tell them that I want the used ties, the one that the discarded ones. They say, why not? Because for them, it's a cost to throw it away. Yeah. And me, I felt that it's a business opportunity for me. So I'll go and take everything. I rented a lagger, or what we call a garage. Okay, garage. So I put all this stuff in. Then I realized that it's time to load the things. So I went to one of these guys who arrange the tires, because so they can put small one in the big one like that. So when the guy came, then he told me that, hey, boss, these tires that you are taking to Ghana, nobody will buy them. Because these are not the sizes that they want. Wow. I should have done my due diligence before going for all these tires. Absolutely. I spent over 4,000 Swiss francs to throw away those ties.
Wow.
I had booked for container, so I still had to load the rest into the container. And then the ties came to Ghana. Look, these ties came to Apostle Kai. And when the guys who buy the ties come, they say, na Jimmy for na. Akofa. Yes. Akofa ties we have. And so the few ones that were good, as I was lucky, they bought them. But those ones, it became a challenge. In fact, at a point, I didn't have a shop also. So the shop owner is taking his shop and all that. It was a challenge. And it was a very terrible business. And I learned my lessons from that.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I think we should clap for him. That's a very good. So in the interest of time, we don't have time. So I'll just take these two examples. Okay, I myself, about 12 years ago, I started a pork business. Okay, so this was the first time. I just come back from the UK, and I had the whole McDonald's idea, and I'm like, I can do pork and do the yam and do the green pepper and package it nicely, put some onions, spring onions, and garnish it nice, and it worked so well. Look, back then, I think my best sales in 2012 was in 1 month I made 30,000 Ghana cedis selling just pork and yam, because I had tapped into. So I now had pork lovers. Okay, at like this Barclays branch, this Stanchard. So on Fridays, I'll be like, we are doing pork and kinky. Should I deliver? Then that one day is big order. So you go, maybe 400 Ghana cedis. You get 300 Ghana cedis here and there. So it worked well for a time. But I also ran into challenges because I was slaughtering, I think, about 6 pigs every week. And we were running 7 days a week. So I started getting supply challenges. Now here I was, back then, I was at London Boy. I'll be in the bush with a hunter. Because some pig that we bought, has jumped out of the truck and is gone into some place that nobody, so we need to, and so supply became a big issue. I started my own pig farm I didn't know that in Ghana you can't live in Bisianzi, and I was in Accra, and I was a banker in Stanchart. Then I'll be in the bank. Then the guys will call me that, there was some storm, so the gate opened, and about 50 pigs have gone up. But when we brought them back, we couldn't find 8. Then I will jump into my car. Maybe it's in the afternoon, drive like I'm losing, just to go in. And over time, yes. So they'll call you in the morning and tell you that last night some armed robbers came and they've stolen 12 of the pigs. But you see, if you know anything about your cost of goods, right, and what your gross profit is and what your over, then you know that at the end of the day, your margin is like maybe 15-20%. So if you have 300 pigs and in a month or 2 you lose 12, that is the 1 year work. Look, they frustrated me, and so what I was trying to do was what they call backward integration. So I would have the pigs, and my pigs would be supplying. So I had 4 pork joints around Accra. So that the money will be circulating, I had planned everything. Then I also had the issue of staff. In fact, same issue. So I can tell you stories upon stories. Because all through the value chain, someone is trying to, and I tried every single idea that I knew. And I couldn't. So I was surviving until I left. I decided in 2016 I had to go and do my master's back in London. So I went. And then I had not groomed anybody to run the business. And then the stories became even more marvelous. Anchebia na business the business the go here. But I learned so much. No professor can teach you these things. So some of our failures, they are actually setups for, for our breakthrough in the future. So, but we have learned, we've seen that you need to properly understand what you are doing. We don't have time. There's so much that we have to go through, but I will not rush it, okay? We'll take it step by step. So I would try and, can I have the next slide? Okay, so reasons why startups fail, right, or businesses fail. I've got poor planning, okay? So we also, is number one, poor planning, and then poor administration, which is the leadership factor, okay? And then your finances can run out, okay? Because you are always very optimistic about your projections. Oh, if I start in 6 months, dear, some money should be coming in. Trust me, sometimes 2 years, dear, not shame by it. So you have to be, very careful in how you do your forecast, because you can have a brilliant business, but you will run out of money along the line, and you can't pay your rent, you can't pay your staff, and you have to stop doing what you are doing, right? Then sometimes you can also be in the wrong market. Okay, it's a bit of a technical point, so I'm not going to go into it. But you can have a brilliant business idea, okay, but you can launch it in the wrong market, okay. And then obviously lack of research. I think that one of the things that also plagues us here is the lack of trust. Okay, so we all want to do things by ourselves. Okay, I don't trust you, so I will not partner with you. Someone may have the money, the other person may have incredible leadership skills. Like you look at the synergy between Steve Jobs and Steve was just a great marketer. He just knew how to make products that you like. All the coding was from somebody that, as I'm standing here, I can't even remember the guy's name, but he was actually the brain behind it. And Apple would not have been successful if they didn't have that partnership. I think there's something that is really killing and really slowing African businesses down, because we are not trustworthy. So sitting across you, I want it all for myself, so that the ego. But if we could partner, sometimes businesses, right? 10 people, 15 people can come together and set something incredible up, and they will all benefit. 10 years, 20 years from now, they are all millionaires because they were able to partner. But if you don't get the right partner, you are in deep trouble. Lack of focus, okay? So we like to do too many things at the same time, and we don't have consistency, okay? Ineffective marketing, and also so you can have not being abreast. So you can have a brilliant idea today, okay? Ghanaians, when they see something that works, almost everybody. So you have to be constantly innovating and adding value propositions to yours that would differentiate you, so that you can continue to lead the market and maintain your market share, right? I'm sorry I'm speeding this. It would have been really nice if we were having this back and forth, but as they say, time no day. So let's rush through. Next slide, please. Okay, so this was my brand, Pork Chef. This was in 2011, thereabouts. Okay, next slide. So back then, this was how I was. Today it looks very, very common, but back then it was was top. I mean, they really understood what we were trying to do. And me too, I think my love for pork then may have also blinded me a little bit into going, because I had 4 joints, so I was always going to everywhere I get to. I have to make sure that the quality control. So I'll be testing from home. From home, and then before I knew it, I was expanding, gradually looking like the pigs that I was slaughtering. Next slide. Okay, but as I said, it failed, right? It failed. The farm is still there. There's nothing happening. But I'm being so careful. I've been back since 2018. I have not started anything because I want the right people. I want to understand. So the mistakes I made, I just jumped. I started in September, okay, of I think 2010 or 2011, September. By December, I had built the farm. I had 2 joints. Quick. You know, no planning, no proper research, nothing. This time around, since 28, so it's what? 4 years. I've been bent. So I have learned my lesson. I'm being, what? Careful. I'm not even sure whether I want to even sell the farm or, I'm being very, very cautious. It has to make financial sense before I go in. Next slide, please. Okay. So how do I achieve success in business? There's a roadmap, okay, which I'm going to introduce you to, okay, and it would address some of the issues that we have raised. Then you need strategic planning. Not just planning, but you also need what they call strategic agility. So when you plan how you want to run your business, you have to be nimble. You have to be, Master, when things change, you have to be able to change your business quickly, so that you are not sitting dark, because with technology and things are happening so quickly, right? So you have to build agility into your strategy. That's the new kind of thinking when it comes to strategic planning. And then it's one thing to have a brilliant plan, but if you don't have the right people, okay, the money, the will to do an incredible execution, the plan is on paper. The execution is a whole different ball game. Okay, there are people who are good with planning, blue sky thinking. That's where we come in. We'll sit down one fine day. We'll come up with all the ideas. Okay, and there are some people who can take the idea and tell you, "Oh, I don't think this will work." But they can take the idea and actually operationalize it, make it happen. And there are people who can run it. They are not interested in. They don't want change. They can be in the company for 25 years. They come and do. They go, they come and do. So you need to know, in terms of the execution, you need to know all of these things. And because the skill you need for strategic planning is very different from the skill you need for, right? Do you understand? So there are coaches who have never been football players, but they are incredible coaches, right? Then timing. Timing is so important. I started my company. During the peak of COVID. Okay, and everybody said, "No, that's such a bad idea." I said, "No, I want to plant in the dark, because I know COVID will be over, and I know I was coming against like foreign firms, big foreign firms who are established. They've been in this market for maybe 100 years. And they had all sent their staff home working from home, right? But I was willing to risk it. So that by the time COVID is over, but who is this new kid on the block? I just saw it as a window of opportunity, because if it's on level grounds, they'll call me and offer me some money to come and work for them, that when I see the money, I'll be like, "Oh, what business?" I think it was maybe I ate too much, and I when I slept, I had that dream or something like that. I will not make anything of it. So timing is absolutely crucial and essential. And then I talked about agility, adjustments, and innovation. You have to move. So what I can do is I can only handle the first point, because I think maybe like 15 minutes ago I was told I have 20 minutes, right? So let me just quickly tackle the first point. Okay, is that okay? Fantastic. So the roadmap. Next slide. 5 steps from a business idea to a market player. So as for business ideas, everybody, okay, can have them. I was recently consulting for someone, and he has a brilliant business idea. But the character he's such a difficult. You don't have money. and someone wants to give you money, and you are like, no, if the business is not here, you won't do it. But it's going to take 2 years for even you to be able to build the structure, for you to start. When are you going to have customers? And the person cannot tie his dollars in that exactly. So as for business idea, everyone has it. There's also a well-researched, sometimes when you have an idea, you think you are the only one thinking it. At that point, you've had the idea. 30 people have it. I'm not talking like around the world, though. The time the idea dropped into your mind, 30 people, is dropped into 30 people's mind. Because we are all connected on a certain subconscious level, right? So this information is not exclusive unless you hear it from the Spirit of God and He makes it exclusive to you. But that is the reason why when you can pick vibe. Do you understand? You can sometimes know what someone is about to say and things like that, right? So but don't be too excited about your business idea. Be excited about the next slide I'm going to show you, because that is what is going to transform your business idea, okay, into products, and products into profits. Is that okay? Fantastic. Next slide. Right. So 5 steps. Ideation. It's a word I don't like pronouncing because I've pronounced it correctly, but it sounds wrong in my ears. Ideation. Don't forget about the shen at the back. It's just the idea. Do you understand? The idea. I think what we do is that we wait for a hunch. Okay, we wait to feel, I think I have this idea. Or you sleep and then something, I'm not saying it's wrong. It could be correct. Do you understand? It could be the idea. Or you are passing somewhere and then you see someone has done something, then you're like, that kind of thing. Okay. These are all ways by which we get ideas. Okay. But one of the incredible ways you can also get an idea is through research. Okay. What is successful here? Because we are all at different levels of the developmental curve. Because there was one day there was a time I traveled to Nepal, okay, for some business. And when I went to Nepal looked everything like Ghana. I have the videos. I will show everything like Ghana. They had kole. They had like how the Kole Lagoon was. They had cows like just roaming around, and the buildings looked nearly the same. So I was wondering, I'm like, have I arrived at Nepal, or my family members have done their thing again? They've done their thing again, And Nepal is far. So, but then later on I realized that, okay. So Nepal is a very small country nestled between China and India. And so guess what? They get most of their building materials and all of those things that we also get. They also get it from China. So when you see their buildings, everything is just like, just like Ghana. But anyway, time no day. So let's move on quickly. So you can research, sit down and ask yourself what is happening in a country. So where would Ghana be 10 years from now? There are countries currently who are 10 years ahead of the developmental curve. Because as you develop, you create problems for yourself. Okay? There will be a time when, God forbid, but obesity will be our challenge. And then you need gyms, and then you need therapists and people to help. Do you understand? Like, people are now addicted to phones. So psychology, what we know as psychology is like dealing with addicts and other things. Maybe now it has to be, how can you get people to live normal lives? Because now, exactly. So things, when you do your research, okay, you realize that there are ideas that you can't imagine. There's a company, I'll find the website and send it to you. They sell stones. It's a multi-million company in the US. They sell stones as pets. Abrofo dear. Do you understand? Stones, they can, like pebbles, and then they can put like a knitted hat on the stone. And people pet stones. And they buy stones and make art with the stones. And yeah. And that's someone's idea. You will not do it because it doesn't, but he did his research, realized that there's a market for it. That's a very ridiculous example, but I'm just saying this to show you that if you do your research, you realize that between the idea that you have, okay, and the research that you have done, you have options. And then you can choose from the options where you will best invest your money, okay, to make the optimal returns. Is that clear? I'm sorry I'm rushing through, but I sense that you guys are, you're okay, you're good. Fantastic. So next, click. Okay. So we said you typically get it from inspiration, right? Which is good. Okay. If this was not a Christian class, if it was a secular, I was teaching a business class, I would tell them that be very careful of inspiration, right? Because sometimes it's not tested. You have not done the science to make sure that there aren't 30,000 other people doing the same business. And then you enter the business and you realize that cash flow 6 months down the line, cash flow is still not coming, okay? But because we are a prophetic church, okay, I want to say emphatically that this is something that we can tap into, okay? Bear with me. Please bear with me. Let me do this. So in preparing for this, I came across a number of scriptures, okay, that suggest, or that actually, so the first one I want to touch on is Matthew 13, verse 11. And he replied, which is Jesus, the knowledge of the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven has been given to you, but not to them. Okay, so we have access, right? We have access to things that are in hidden places. And if you want a business idea or like what's going to be the next big thing so that you can write it, you can tap into that grace, more especially in this house. Okay, so whereas I would tell them that inspiration is dangerous, I'll tell you that inspiration should be your first point of call. Okay, because even if you are not sure, you can verify. Is that okay? We talked about creative thinking, we talked about brainstorming, and then research and development. Next, please. Validation. This is the step that nobody does. This is the step I didn't do, the step Reese didn't do, the step Pastor Richard didn't do, that led us all in losing our money and our precious time. Okay. But when you have an idea, you need to validate. One advice I also give is that because you are, your idea is your baby. Okay. So you make excuses for your baby. Try and get a second opinion. Okay. Try and get someone who is already in the market, or someone who is like a business consultant, someone who can give you an unbiased opinion about the idea, because that could be the difference between you wasting your time and not, okay? And what I'm saying is that at the validation stage, you want to do a prototype or you want to do a concept development. So I want to do this big project, okay? Maybe I'll do it on a small scale and see how the market responds to it before you go big. You see this thing that I'm telling you? Even me, I'm sure that if the day I get the next big idea, if I'm not careful and God doesn't help me, I'll probably skip this thing. Because it's in our nature. The desire, the drive that you get, you just want to get to market. Okay. User acceptance, investor validation. Investors, So, see, even if you have your own money, see if someone will want to invest. If you have your own money, okay, come and see, go and see somebody, go and see a bank, go and see like the rich uncle in your family who is a businessman, and run the idea past him and see whether he will be interested in investing. Because when you are not attached to the idea and you have to take out money to invest, that's the ultimate test. If the person is like, I think, okay, this is a good idea, but this and that, so that you don't get too excited and then waste your money. Okay. So the next is, so now you have the idea. Okay. You've also been able to validate it. Okay. If there's nothing you learn from me today or from this session today, please, it's validation. Because that's what the ideas there will come by God's grace. Okay. But you have to stop. And sometimes you can, in a typical process, feasibility studies, that thing can take, if this is a foreign firm doing this in Ghana, that thing can take 2 to 3 years. They are doing their research. They've hired independent people. And sometimes they don't always invest. Sometimes they will spend $100,000 and then be like, oh, it's not a good idea. Not Konimo, no. Nisika Komudie. He has to, exactly. And then you have issues. Do you understand? So you've done these two, you are okay. Then you move to the startup. Okay. You need to do registration. I can talk about company registration for the next few days. Okay. Because it's so crucial. That's your title. Okay. About 2 weeks ago, I visited a law firm on behalf of a certain client. And the guy is like, oh, yeah, he registered the business, but he was in the US. So the wife registered it for him. And the wife said that they need a third director. So the wife used the brother to register the company. So I'm like, okay, so what's your percentage? He said, well, I don't know, my wife. So I stopped. I'm like, okay, we won't go any further with anything, like, until we've done a search to know what, because you are now about to invest maybe $10, $15 million into a project, and you don't know what your ownership is. But registration is so key. Okay. Being a registered company gives you certain benefits, okay, under the law. And so you need to talk to somebody when you get here, but you have to register your interest in your business. At the same time, I also want to talk about branding, okay, because sometimes, like my current company, my brand is worth more than the company itself, okay, because we have put effort in branding ourselves and putting ourselves out there, and we are doing videos and flyers because there's value in that brand. Don't just be doing a good product or a good service and then hide in your corner somewhere. Put effort in branding. Get people who validate. If somebody comes to your salon or barbering shop and a nice haircut, use your phone. Oh, how did you find the experience? How did you find the ambience? How did you find this place? Are you going to invite your friend? They'll be like, yes. They'll give you, what we call, oh God, I've forgotten the name. But they will endorse you. They'll give you endorsement, and that endorsement you can use on your social media. Sometimes you can even get somebody to come there and then give them a free haircut for the next month because the person is a celebrity, or the person appears on some show with somebody. Okay. You need to be thinking branding. Coca-Cola, if you take the brand, Coca-Cola is nothing. Fact. So we need to be think. Don't run your business, don't register it, and don't brand it. Then you don't have it. The day, God forbid, that is it. If the brand is there, they can value your brand. They can sell it for millions. And then you need cash flow, and then you need to launch, right? So that is the startup. So before you actually say you're a startup, you should have gone through the first two processes. When you have been able to prove the concept, okay, and you have actually run a business, and the business is running, so I'll probably say you stay at the startup stage for, let's say, 2 to 3 years, or maybe even 5, sometimes 7, depending, okay. Then it could be time to scale up, okay. Because you don't want to stay where you are and continue to be the same size, because there are others that are coming on the market who are going to compete with you with better products, and they will have more money, and they will take market share that you should have taken because you had what we call the first mover advantage. Like you were on the market first, okay? So in scaling up, you can do product development. Okay, so you are making one product, it works. You can make a variant of the same product because somebody wants this. But maybe if you give them, let's say popcorn, right? So there's strawberry flavor popcorn, and it's been successful. You probably want to try, something else, something vanilla flavor, or do you understand? So, because not everybody will like chocolate ice cream. Somebody wants this. So then you do product development. So product development is where you create different variants of the same products. Then you can expand your market. More people will buy, and you can grow, okay? Then you can also do market development, which is, I have this one good product. It's been very successful in Dansoman. I think it's time for me to take it to La Paz, Kaneshi, and then Kumasi. That's market development. So this is when you have been successful at a startup. You've run it for 2, 5, 7 years. You've understood your market. You know your customer base. You know what drives what drives sales. And you also understand what drives product. Then you are certain. Then you begin to expand. If you are not stable and you don't understand your business well, please don't try scaling up. Okay. And then there's channel development. So now with the advent of internet, you can sit here and then you go on your phone and you can order Auntie Muniwache on Glovo. That's a channel. Okay, so channel is the platform via which you are selling or delivering your service. Is that okay? So her stand is one channel, physical. Okay? If she has a website and you can order from the website, that's another channel. If maybe you want to go on Glovo, that's another. So channel development, because you can't reach all your potential market via one channel. There are some young people who don't even watch TV. They're always on Instagram. That's where they live. They're not like us. We visit YouTube. Like you send somebody WhatsApp, they check it in like 2 weeks before you tick. So you need you need to know where you can access your market. That's channel development. Okay. Again, a very big topic which we can always look into. And then franchising. We don't do franchising in Ghana. But you see there is KFC. When you go to London, there's KFC. And when you go to US, there's KFC. Wherever you go, there's KFC in Ghana. Okay? That's franchising. The brand, those who brought KFC to Ghana, they don't own the brand. They just go to KFC and they're like, okay, can we use your brand to sell chicken? KFC is like, okay, fine. I don't have a problem. But these are my terms. If you want to do, I need standardization. If somebody goes to eat KFC in Germany and comes to eat the same KFC in Ghana, it has to be the same. So these are the ingredients you have to use. This is how you have to design the place and all of that. They'll give you, and they'll tell you that at the end of the day, you have to pay me 6%, maybe 6% of your gross earnings. If you're happy, what that does is that it would help you So you have a recognizable brand. Branding is very powerful. Okay, if I know Nike, okay, and I see wherever I see Nike, I know what to expect. So you can cut many years of your development if you can go into such deals to the extent that they are beneficial to you. Okay, franchising. There are so many companies, products. Honestly, if you are to look at what commerce is in Ghana, once you take out what comes from the farm, the jene, drawing toast, and all of those things, just look on your table. Most of the things, I'm sure even the popcorn, I don't know. I doubt it's our own corn that they have popped for us. But popcorn comes in packs, and then you put it in the microwave, and the Coca-Cola. So all of these things can be some form of, because these are brands that are globally recognized, and they are big, and they will support you, okay, but at a fee. So it's something that we can also, you don't always have to start business from scratch. Franchising is something that if you guys are interested, I can also come and talk about. There are millions of brands all over the world. Some of them, they've not even heard of the name Ghana. They'll tell you Africa is a country. They think it's all safari. But maybe they have an incredible product that is not. Do you know how Sickins made his money? At the time, he was the one who, so he got franchise from the Sickins company. And then the next thing, after a few years, they begin to trust him. Then he opens a factory here in Ghana and begins to produce. Do you understand? And they will also give you what they call supplier credit. So once they begin to trust you, they'll be, okay, we'll have goods. For millions. So if you are lucky, the demand for the good will be so high in Ghana that by the time it gets to the port, you already have people with ready cash. So these are all the various ways that you can come up with business ideas to be able to make money, big money, so that when we come and we drop our envelope there, even the altar will be like, yeah, it will feel the weight, the weight of the glory. We'll feel it. And then the last is, so now you've become a market player. What do? You need to defend, right? And then you need to continue to innovate. I am so sorry I've had to rush this thing. I'm very sorry. But by God's grace, I'm not going anywhere. I'm here. So if you think your interest has been pegged, if you want to ask a personal question, it's about your business, I'm willing and available to assist. If there is time in the future and any particular topic, you want it further addressed. So we've done 1 of 5. Okay. Or we have, even that one we rushed it. So there is more. But I believe that the more knowledge we have, the better prepared we are. There's a reason why non-Christians are succeeding in business. You should go to Dubai and go and see what is going on there. It's serious. I'm not sure there's any nation now like Dubai. No. In terms of how modern their infrastructure is. This is a desert. They've turned it into, they have more grass there than in Ghana. Fact. Okay? Why? There are principles. You need to know how to get credit. Okay? Until you are able to access credit, you will not be able to do big business. You can't always use your own equity because it's not tax efficient. So these are things that we must learn, okay? And once we engage the spirit, we will then be able to have that advantage over the rest. So I think I'm going to stop here, and then I don't know if we have time. We have time for questions, right?
So at this point, we do some at least 15 minutes of Q&A. So if someone has a question, you can ask. Please let it be brief.
Okay,
So
you
so
spoke
hold
about-
on before you ask the question. So I'm not the only business mind here. So the question he's asking is not to me. He's asking the question to us. So you have to listen, because if I can't answer, I may call you, and if you are not listening, then you come and take this place here. Okay, so go on.
You spoke about validation, which is a very important aspect. It's also one aspect I think my business didn't really do well.
Okay.
Because I had to go to someone and confide and ask. And then by the time I realized the person is doing my business and had reduced prices,
Okay.
and because of that, my business didn't really do well.
Okay.
So how do I manage this?
Okay, so what we are trying to by the way, that's a very brilliant question. What we are trying to implement in Africa is the Western business model. Okay, and we've come so far that I doubt whether we can actually develop our own way of business. I'll explain what I mean. If this was the West, okay, there's something called a Non-Circumvention Agreement. Okay, Non-Circumvention Clause. Before I sit down to discuss my idea with you, it's one page that I'm about to I discuss an idea with you. Under no circumstances can you talk to somebody, okay? Can you do the same business? And you will sign, because you don't know what I'm about to talk to you about, okay? Then that protects your interest. Because otherwise, then banks will not, nobody will go to a bank and tell them that this is what I want to do. This thing that you talked about is even happening in our ministries. You do a proposal, you take it, they'll tell you, oh, Master, I didn't know what to buy. Oh, 3 years ago, I'll be dear crowd. Do you understand? He's going to remove your company name, and then 2 weeks later, you see that someone is doing it. So you can, it requires wisdom, because even if you have a non-circumvention clause, okay, with somebody, are you going to go through our legal system? Go and come, adjourn, go and come, adjourn, go and come. So you have to do your due diligence and be careful of who you are talking to. The person should not necessarily be someone in that particular field. Okay, I can decide to speak to a pharmacist who has run pharmacies before and who has branches. Maybe my problem has to do with how do I coordinate and get accountability from branches. So you just have to be careful. But it's not I wish I had an answer for you, but I don't think it's just the risk of entrepreneurship and doing business that people, if you are not careful, people will steal your idea. I also think that for every idea that God gives you, He gives you space. Like, it's not just the idea, He's also giving you the spirit. So you can hear my idea, but God hasn't given you that spirit. Do you understand? Because the idea is alive. It has energy, it's spirit. The person hasn't got it. He may be excited about it, but he might not be able to take it so far. But time to no day. I'm sure he moved faster than you did. And then capitalized on it. It's just. But you see, it was a risk that you should have foreseen. The business is just full of risk. You just have to know who to. So I'm hoping that next time we'll all be careful.
Next question, no contribution, no.
Honorable, thank you so much for the opportunity. Please, you made mention of franchising. In this time that we are supporting made in Ghana goods and all that, do you think the franchise is also can help the Made in Ghana goods? Or are you in support of franchise?
Ah, goodness. So what do you want to do? Do you want to make money or do you want to support Made in Ghana goods? Because I can't have. You're asking me. This is like is it a simultaneous equation or yeah, or a quadratic. You know that there are too many things to solve. Do you understand? So you need to decide. But there are a lot of foreign firms that are providing jobs for Ghanaians and paying taxes. Okay, franchising is also not only with Western organizations. You can have a local franchise. You can go and see Papaya and say, I want to take Papaya to Bolga or something. It's fine. Or maybe even Cote d'Ivoire. You can take it out of Ghana. Is that okay? Any questions? No questions. Fantastic.
Yes, Pastor Asmani.
Okay.
Oh, hey, not so fast.
All right. Thank you very much. I also want to know if this presentation, let's say, has triggered an interest in business, starting up your own or franchising, I mean, the various options you've provided. However, if I feel maybe this is just the first time I'm hearing something of this, how should I proceed? What should I be listening to? Who should I be talking to? What book should I be reading to get me started off properly?
So you should be talking to the Spirit of God. That's number one. Okay. First. I am an absolute convert now. Okay. Because you can learn everything there is to learn, but what the Spirit of God has to teach you, because you don't know tomorrow, right? You don't know what the next big wave is. So I think that is the first thing you have to do. Okay. And then I think that you should also do your own research. Because even if you come and see, let's say you come to my company and you want to see me, okay, the quality of the discourse, the conversation between you and I will be a function of what you know about your business. Do you understand? You should be able to challenge and I should be able to challenge you. So one, speak to the Spirit of God. If you have clearance, that go ahead, do your research and Google website, there's nothing that you will not find there. Okay. Don't just be excited about the positives. How much money would you make? Why did this business fail? What are the pitfalls? And then, okay, there are several. So there's the Ghana Enterprise Agency, okay, which I think previously was MBSSI. Okay, they are now an agency. So they have nearly about 150 business centers where you can go and talk to someone who will help you to develop your business, okay? Or you can talk to someone here, okay? You can talk to me. You can talk to anyone who has run a business before. But don't talk to one person. You get small here, you get small there, and be making your notes so that when you go over, you can be able to make informed decision. Have I answered your question? Not quite.
Yes.
Go on.
So maybe even the thing of starting a business has never been my interest. So
then you don't see. You don't. It is not for everyone. No.
Yes.
Look.
So
sorry
okay.
to cut you. All this gray hair, just happened in the last year or 2 years. Because now I'm doing everything by myself. It's suffer now, gain tomorrow. So you need the heart and the stomach for it. Because whether business is coming, whether you are making money or not, you have your fixed cost to pay. So those things can stress you. And then you employ somebody to come and do X, Y, Z. And then when they come, they'll do F, small of G, and then like the whole, and then your heart. Do you understand? Your heart. Not just that. Not that they'll not just do it well, but they might also be destroying value, if you know what I mean. So it is not, entrepreneurship is not for everyone. There are ways you can still get involved, okay, like equity. So maybe you have money and someone has a stomach. You can go into an agreement with them, maybe buy 10-20% stake, be involved, but not 100%, if it is not the thing for you. Is that, are you getting?
Yes. Thank you very much for bringing that aspect. I think the other thing I would like you to speak to is, not probably because I feel I'm not cut out for it, but maybe I've been oblivious to these things. So just the fact that I'm in a meeting like this, somebody talks about it, then it triggers an interest. Okay, I might be feeling that way here. Somebody might be feeling that in a meeting like this. So where do you go from there? So he's spoken about business. Okay, so just like when somebody comes to talk about.
So I can't answer. I can't take the place of your conviction.
Okay.
So that I can talk about these things, I can teach about them, but that's what they call it, that inner conviction. That is you. Okay. So where do you go from here? Please tread cautiously, because you are going to invest. Even if you are not investing your money, your time is your money. Okay. And if you want to continue this conversation, you can always catch me. And then we can take it forward. Is that okay?
Okay.
We're done. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm grateful.
Men's ministry. Men's ministry. What are we saying to Mr. Kwate? God bless you, man of God. God bless you. Shall we please take our seat? So I want to acknowledge some few dignitaries among us. We have our resident pastor here, Pastor Edward Sarkod here in our midst. We also have Pastor Richard here. I think Apostle Victor was in the meeting and he has to leave for other things. So can we put our hands together?